Okay, there we go. Hello, everybody. We haven't done a build stream in a while. And Alexis wanted to do this when the Gawains came out, so the Gawains are here. We are doing a build stream.
Yay, Gawain!
And as usual, we're going to be dual building, but this should be simple and short because this is a high grade. Actually wanted to get all the parts assembled and pulled out and sorted, but you know how timing goes.
Instruction booklet.
Dude, media reviews, loving the red hair queen.
Oh, thank you.
Tijitoku, Gawain, where's the Green Knight?
I ate him.
Dealing with the knights who say knee.
Me.
Was Gawain even in the Monty Python and the Holy Grail? Or
I think he was.
I remember Bedivere.
Bravely ran away. Shush. Bravely ran away.
That was Sir Robin. Phantom 666, did you have a chance to see new Gundam Seed Freedom movie? Yeah, we saw it on second night. It was out in America, and I know it's streaming right now because with subtitles because there are clips all over YouTube now. In fact, when I tried to do the Code Geass all-in-one review, I tried to insert a clip of the Mighty Strike Freedom being badass, but for some reason, my account is not good for those type of extremely long all-in-one videos, because I know some people have done 18-hour videos on YouTube, and the Code Geass review collectively is like 13, just short of 13, so there was no reason it shouldn't have worked, but it stopped processing and was not working after I made it public, so that's why I had to take it down. There's all sorts of frustrating.
Okay, have you noticed the quality of this plastic?
Yeah, it's glossy and hard in some points, while flexible in others. The inner frame is really flexible.
I was really talking about the sheen.
The gloss to it, yeah. Yeah, your Lancelot and the Gurrens was like that too. They do that for some of these. Honestly, I think the gloss makes them a bit more brittle, but TTK Blazer 97, is the Gawain better compared to the Shinkiro? I think it is. The only thing it lacks is the all-points defense system the Shinkiro has, but the Shinkiro is less armed, so it's definitely a take-your-pick difference. I like the Gawain more. Shinkiro, like, if it had dual cannons, I'd be more amenable to it.
Oh, that's a weird little bug.
Oh,
There's a bug in my thing.
Oh, I thought you meant...
No, like, yeah, like, literally a...
literal bug.
Yeah.
Is it a spider? Get it off.
I was gonna say, can we get... Do you have a... I'm gonna go squish this real quick. It just doesn't deserve to live. Be right back. Disposing of justice.
Yeah. Media reviews, I swear those hexagonal bases are eerily similar to the runs included with the Figure Eye standard models. Is this a common thing? Yeah, this specific base is the action base 4/5. The ones in the Figure Eye standard kits are, I don't think they're numbered, but they're styled after these. These are meant for, these are the more flexible kinds of display stands after we were stuck with Action Bases 1 and 2 for years. Action Base 3 is like a rectangular display stand for like images. If you wanted to display a kit with an image under it or behind it, that's the type you use, whereas the 4s and 5s are the all-range ones. And there's now action face 6 and 7s that are intended more for just figures in general and not just model kits. So yeah, they've come a long way. And I just like building the stand first because it gets it out of the way.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, there are a bunch of different types of accessory stands that are of all different sorts and types. Or the setting building ones that with the 30-minute missions kits that are all on the action-based 4-5 scale. DJ2, I prefer the Shinkiro myself, since I could argue that Gawain is more CC's unit since she does the flying while Lelouch acts as the gunner. Lelouch just needed to be more confident in his piloting ability at that point. But then again, weaknesses of R1. Like, they had to give CC excuses to be around, so, you know, she's there.
You know, with how many times I've built these action bases, you think I'd have it memorized, and yet...
You don't, well, I do.
Yeah. Oh, fudge. Forgot that part. I knew I forgot something.
Yeah, honestly, that's one of the other things. It's like, Lelouch should be a better pilot of the Nightmares than he is, considering his mom is like was considered the ace of aces before Callan came around.
Can I have your part separated real quick? Sorry. It'd be funny as hell if, like...
But then again, that's part of the reason for including Callan in the story. You know, Lelouch is inept at all physical things.
Right, because if he started becoming good at it at Nightmare, like, if he was good at Nightmare piloting by default, then it would ask the question, why is Callan around?
Yeah. But if the Gawain is more his style, because the Gawain can only function because of the wizard system, which he is one of the few people on the planet that can actually use effectively. So, and again, it's why it's more Lelouch's unit than CC's. CC can't actually operate the damn thing without him there. Whereas Lelouch, if he were to actually spend the time in the Nightmare simulators, he would actually be able to pilot it solo. And by the time he gets the Shinkiro, that's basically what had to have happened off screen for it to make any sense for why he can pilot the Shinkiro solo when he wasn't the Gawain. Pure Crystal, before I asked the question, I watched the Code Geass videos, but I wanted to know, do you think the way R2 ended was a predetermined thing, or could it be avoided? That's kind of the discourse about R2. There are so many ways to avoid how the series ended, but the makers of the series were not interested in diverging from that ending. That's the ending they wanted. The ending was written first. It was the planned event throughout the entire development of the series, even though, like, the course to getting it did not make the ending work. Justin Simone, so how about the Mecha Smile Impact reveals?
They were pretty nice. I mean, again, quality of the kits aside, I do like how Mecha Smile fulfills that niche of, hey, you know that one obscure-ass mecha series that only you know about? Yeah, well, guess who's getting a model kit?
Yeah, I wasn't really that interested in much that they released. Like, maybe announced. Maybe I'll get the, Red 5 that they're doing for Majestic Prince, but that's just because I don't really like the Kudabukiya kit that I already bought, because I didn't realize they were going to do a model right of it. Pure Crystal, oh, so it's writing backwards thing. Yes, that's exactly how I described it in the Code Geass review. They wrote the ending first, and they wrote this. They had an outline that had the ending they wanted out first, and then they worked backwards from that to construct the entire narrative of Code Geass R2. And it's like, normally plots are developed forward-based. Like, you have an idea of where you want to end, but you move forward to that point instead of working backwards from it. Like, if you get too wrapped up in the ending, you can sometimes not realize that the ending you want doesn't fit the story you're trying to tell. Or you do wrong by the characters and it ends up a mess. Like, this is not the first instance of writers not seeing the forest for the trees, effectively. Harry Potter, for a lot of people, before J.K. Rowling revealed herself to be awful, was a series that was very much affected by the realization that J.K. Rowling had a predetermined ending and that did not agree with the characters, with what she was doing with the characters.
Oh, you're just clipping out all the extra parts and stuff?
Yeah, I do that with these.
I usually just stick with the plain base in case unless I need to clip out anything else.
Yeah, but then I just throw these in a baggie for spare parts for when I ever need to use them for other things. Mm-hmm. Like, you know what I'm about.
Yeah, I know how you're about. These, oh my god, that is so cute.
Hmm?
Can I show it on camera?
Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm not sure if can you see it, chat? This instruction manual has a little chibi Lelouch, and he's acting so chuny. Like, look at this guy.
Talk chuny to me.
Is that what Callan says?
I have that phrase stuck in my head because of a Konosuba fanfic.
Talk chuny to me.
And yes, that is the actual name of a Konosuba fanfic. It is exactly what you think. It is hard-shipping Megumin, before Megumin was confirmed as the one who goes out of their way to date Kazuma. And yes, I like Konosuba. I've not watched or caught up with the third season. I basically already know where the story is going because, you know, light novels. Will you be getting the real great Akatsuki as well, or is it not worth it? Why would I not get a Gundam Seed model kit?
I think it's because like it's been confirmed that the real great Akatsuki or Akatsuki shares a lot of its parts with the original Real Great Strike.
And the original Real Great Strike is good. Yeah. Would Code Geass R1, R2 have been improved or suffered if they had 50 episodes apiece? Again, I went over that in the review.
Yeah, watch the review.
It was supposed to be a 50-episode consecutive run until it was changed time slots, and then they delayed the entire back half of the season. I don't know why I get questions about this when I already answered them in the videos I made.
Unless, of course, you actually haven't watched it yet. In which
case, why are you here?
Justify your existence. Justifies your existence.
Like, I spent literally 5 years on that. I'm kind of miffed if you're coming in here and asking questions I already answered in that. It again shows, like, why I'm quitting if, like, those kinds of details just gloss over people's heads. And yeah, it was a 50-episode run, and I know it's not something easy to miss because I went over an entire script of the missing episode 26th from that originally planned consecutive run. So it's not like it was a blink and you miss it statement either. Dear Crystal, what have the weirdest image of Code Geass characters doing Monty Python sketches? Because that's been a Code Geass fanfic. And the show's been around for 15 years, of course. You inevitably homage the Pythons and that just through cultural osmosis.
Bravely Sir Suzaku, bravely ran away. Shush. Gold.
Soft gold. The kind of gold that will not get brittle. Curse you, gold plastic syndrome!
You know, going to hell, that's basic. I hope your favorite toy gets gold plastic syndrome is real. And it's...
Suffers metallic plastic syndrome, yeah.
Yeah. I just love the Gawain's Anubis ears.
Yeah, that was also asked in the chat, why does the Gawain look like an Egyptian Nubian god? I have no idea.
Because maybe the designers were just...
Because maybe they liked Zone of the Enders.
Yeah, maybe they just liked Zone of the Enders that day. Was Lloyd in the shop and like, Cecile, I just played the most amazing game last night.
Well, the Gawain was not designed by Lloyd, it was designed by the Zevon family. Who are featured in Oz the Reflection. It was one of their submitted prototypes, as revealed in the side story content, to explain, why Lloyd would have had their hands on it. But they had developmental issues over it, which is why it ended up in Schneisel's hands to have Lloyd finish it. The perception that Lloyd was behind the entire thing is kind of a rather big misconception about it. And of course, the Zevon family were pawns of the entire Geass order, which is its own generalist thing. Again, I really wish someone would translate the Oz the Reflection manga. Or if they have, I have no knowledge of them having done it. QB Stan, have you been watching Doctor Who? Not recently.
Again, time.
Time.
I love it when it
Golden Gar, I was instantly turned off of anything with gold paint because one of the first metal kits I seriously built was the real grade Strike Freedom, and with how the wings got all messed up with my fingers. I was not aware that the real grade Strike Freedom had problems. I have the model kit, I haven't built it yet, which is astounding considering my fixation on the Strike Freedom being my favorite Gundam unit.
Then again, time.
Time. Like, a lot of the real grades I bought during my buying burst in 2020, just because of all the overtime I was working, I just never got to.
You have all the time. You have all the money to buy all the model kits you want, but no,
it's the time to build them.
Welcome to the Twilight Zone.
Welcome to adulthood, which is even worse.
I know. Can I stop insulting?
Only when you have enough money that you don't need to worry about adulting anymore. Capitalism.
Capitalism sucks. Can we get isekai to a world that makes sense?
Or win the lottery. Just win the lottery.
Or get isekai into a world where we win the lottery.
It's like, I wouldn't even use all the money.
Money, money, money.
H85, oh, is that the theme from Final Fantasy X playing? Yes, it is. It's the Xanarkin theme.
Hey, let's all go to Xanarkin. Nothing bad will ever happen there.
Everything bad happens there.
Just like the regular show.
It is anything but.
It's like, dude, Auron's gonna be so pissed at us.
There, Death. I'll say that the 15th Doctor is now the musical Doctor because he had 3 musical numbers.
Oh, snap, these weaponized musicals. We're dead. But I mean, honestly though, like, as much as I'm not a big fan of musicals, but I'd rather have the Doctor have something to define it.
DJ Tuga, I feel Final Fantasy gets dunked on a bit too much. I know, right? It's like, okay, it's the first game with voice acting, so in the Final Fantasy series, so it's a bit off in its directing. I will not argue that, but it's not bad for it.
The combat, I was crying like a baby at the end of Final Fantasy X.
Yeah, she went through it recently.
I cried. I was in shambles.
It's my first and still favorite. I know people are more emotionally attached to Final Fantasy VII, and I'm not going to argue with them on that, because 7 is also a really damn good game, but you never forget your first, and if you stop comparing it to 7, you realize that it's actually really good.
Yeah, it does its own thing. The combat system is ingenious. It doesn't feel like you have to gigabrain anything. It's just satisfying, you know?
I mean, you can gigabrain it if you want, but you're not required to.
Right, because there are definitely RPGs out there where if you don't gigabrain, then you're not going to have a good time.
And Final Fantasy VII is technically counted on that. Like, it makes it easier to break it, but it still requires you to screw the rules a bit to get things where you need them to be. Like, the fact I struggled so much when I played Tales of Symphonia because I could not figure out the assortment of support skills that gave you bonus experience until I was far too deep in the game for the bonus experience to actually matter as much as it would have if I had just had it on passively beforehand.
Honestly, for me with that, it was like I'm a cave person in that, like, I just smack things all the time until, like, I get strong.
Yeah, but that I still get bored with the excessive time sink of RPGs of certain ages. And I'm an RPG, and I'm a guy who likes RPGs.
Yeah. Point is, you didn't like Tales of Symphonia, and that is why you must die.
Black Century King. My problem with 7 right now is the fact that Square refused to let it go and screw other games that don't match or surpass it. The thing is, like, people were begging for the Final Fantasy VII remake so long because of the PS3 tech demo that it became a self-fulfilling prophecy that people would not shut up about it. The compilation of Final Fantasy VII project that they did in the 2000s also did not help matters. If they had just left it alone, maybe made Advent Children, then things would have been fine. But it became a self-defeating streak on that. So 13 was always bad. There was no fixing that. And 15, because of 13, not because of 7, was turned into something awful. I know there are people who like 15 there, but they had to fix the game. There was no arguing that. And by saying they had to fix the game, I mean it in the terms of they actually went through the process of fixing the game. Oh, and we can't forget 14 had a very poor original version, but then the Realm Reborn version of it, like, blew it out of the water, and good for them for fixing it to make that MMO probably one of the best MMOs in the market right now. So it's like 14 and also 11, because their MMOs don't count for the they to me don't count for the normal argument over the numbered games, because its narrative is still ongoing. And yeah, I'm being less hostile to questions about 10, even though I reviewed 10, but I reviewed 10 a decade ago versus something I released 2 months ago. Terror Death, Third Death's question, will you be getting and playing the Dragon Quest 1, 2, 3 remakes? I'm not a Dragon Quest fan. Like, I'm happy for people who are getting the game, who get access to the remasters of the games, but not really for me.
Yeah, don't worry.
Like, it's okay for something to not be for you.
Yeah, but you're not a fan of Dragon Quest, and therefore you are sent to the Shadow Realm. The Shadow Realm was New Jersey.
I mean, I have enough games that I own but have not played.
I just want to banish somebody to New Jersey.
Yeah. Like, hell, I'm probably, once, you know, I get more settled into my current, physical therapy stuff and the, work rotation I'm going to be on, I'm probably going to try and finally fix that with playing some of the games I haven't gotten to myself yet. Or hell, finally finish Pokemon Violet. And by the finish Pokemon Violet, I mean the DLC.
Demona is best girl.
Pure Crystal, reviewed Final Fantasy X a decade ago. I get the wordplay. That wasn't intentional. I literally reviewed it in 2014.
Hey, stay in your lane, buddy. Only I may pun.
I don't know, as of late, you only pun a smallish medium amount of the time.
Watch it, Buster. What? I know your weak spot. The sad part is that you can get me with that, but I can't remember what I got you with.
HJ Fives, what happened with 16? Because, like, that came, I heard nothing about it maybe a week after it came out. Its setting had a lot of issues with it that made it self-contradictory. People didn't really engage with it, and it just flamed out. Kind of same with, what was that recent game from them that's from Square that also started with an F, the one that also was really based on cringe humor? Is that Forsaken?
Oh, Forsaken, yeah.
Yeah. It's like a lot of them have no support advertising. Hell, even part 2 of the Final Fantasy VII remake, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, just flamed out of people's attention pretty fast just due to Square Enix sucking at marketing.
Suck.
Okay, I need... As much as I don't want to get Kotobukiya kits anymore, I kind of want to get their version of Anubis, just to compare it to how the Gawain's, like, a Nubian look compares. Plus, you know, Anubis is a ridiculously awesome-looking mech.
Yeah, and the Jehuti. Don't forget
Join the cow. Be careful this. You don't want to end up like Epona. From when we played Twilight Princess.
Oh, no. Oh. No. Oh. I'm so sorry, Epona. Why?
She waited for you.
Oh, you suck. You can go to hell with that one. That was uncalled for. Like, bro.
Here, Crystal, thoughts on those weird films like Kentucky Fried Movie? Oh, the movie parodies? I hate those. Like, collectively. I never liked them. I don't know why they earned money. They were just awful, and just, no. None of that. Shame on you. I'm not directing that at the chat. I'm directing that at the makers of those movies.
Seriously, hitting you with the fries dog thing, like... What did I ever do to deserve that?
You want to listen in alphabetical chronological order?
Hey, you're my friend.
Yes.
Well, you know, it's more like one day you summoned me through saying a pun backwards.
Wouldn't that be spoiling the joke?
Spoiling the joke?
Yes.
No, I mean, like, you verbally said the pun backwards, so, like, you know.
Yes, and wouldn't that be spoiling the joke? Because the end of the car is a
trunk?
spoiler.
Oh! Undergates, my mortal nemesis.
The Undergates, the necessary evil of modern Playmo.
Mm-hmm. Undergates, the prequel sequel to quad trilogy to Undertale.
Or Underfist. Either or. Seriously, Maxwell Adams got screwed by Cartoon Network.
They're all a bunch of cowards.
What? Why no complete series of the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy? They know it will sell. They're cowards.
They're cowards.
Well, okay, they were cowards. Now you can blame it on Zaslav.
Blame everything on Zaslav.
He deserves it.
I decided to go after these, like, A17 parts first, because, like, they're small and they're coarse.
And they get everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But seriously, though, they need to do the Shinkiro, if only so we can kit bash the Gawain and Shinkiro together, because I feel like that would be the best of both worlds.
Yeah. Give it, like...
It's like, because I hate the Shinkiro's chest cannon. That just feels like it's it should have caused more problems than it did. Just from an aesthetic design perspective.
I feel like if you combine the Shinkiro speed with the power of the Gawain, that would be the...
Like, just give the Shinkiro the twin cannons.
Mm-hmm. Bitches love cannons. This is a fact.
Kai Sword Kaijin. Cartoon Network needs more superhero shows that are not Teen Titans Go. How is that series still on the air? I know it's dirt cheap to make, but it has literally killed Cartoon Network's ratings.
What's really sad? Toonami's going back to its, like, evening time slot. And when I say evening, I mean, like...
later night time slot.
You know, like, we're bringing back Sailor Moon, Dragon Ball, and I'm like...
Oh yeah, the classics era.
Mm-hmm.
The classic block stuff.
It's like, how sad is it when, like...
And like anything Adult Swim gets better ratings than the rest of Cartoon Network does. But also, and which is surprising because, you know, everything that Toonami airs is also available via streaming. Granted, we don't have cable. We have no bench in this race anymore.
We had a bench?
I think that's the phrase. The idiom.
No. Oh, horse in this race?
We have no horse.
I was
in this
gonna
race.
say, what? Why the hell, Davis? Why are you racing benches?
Because you left Epona on her own.
Oh, come on! Hey, let's not. Hey, chat. Roast Davis for saying that benches run.
Well, we have somewhere to mount our. We need somewhere to mount our argument.
Mount.
Terror Death, Odessa, I'm looking forward to you eventually streaming Super Road Wars T and Star Force 1 through, maybe Xenosaga 1 through 3. I'm not putting myself through Xenosaga 1 through 3 again.
Yeah, no, he's not doing that to himself.
It's like, I already did footage capture for it before I decided that I just can't keep doing reviews the way I do, and it's like, no. Like, I might do Xenoblade 1 and 2, but I'm not doing Xenosaga 1 through 3.
God, Xenosaga 3, and it's... What even that...
How else do you think I got the footage for the clips of it I put into the Code Geass review? Yes, it's basically there.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, it's even there saying that I'm probably not going to get to Saga 1 through 3 in that. Actually, that's another thing I should consider doing. I have a spare Freedom Gundam. I should consider repainting into Lelouch colors.
Mm-hmm. Actually, that's a good question. If Callie were to pilot a Gundam, it without saying God Gundam, because that's too obvious.
Destiny.
The Destiny.
I mean, that's the obvious one because Palma Falcione.
Yeah, it's true. But I was gonna she would be an absolute menace.
Didn't you mention that Xenosaga failed because some idiot fired the head writer of the Code Geass review? Yeah, Soraya Saga, the original writer for Xenogears and Xenosaga 1, was terminated by one of the executives at Monolith Soft after they formed because they thought she was a problem hindering Tetsuya Takahashi's creativity when, no, they were a married power couple when it came to narrative construction, and the replacement writer, whose name I do not remember, did not do as well in that narrative construction, leading to a bunch of the problems that resulted in the sequels, the episodes 2 and 3 of Xenosaga, that just mangled the entire plot. Chiefly of that being the introduction of Jin Uzuki as a pseudo-replacement protagonist, and Jin sucks.
Oh, Jin is awful.
Like, he became a doctor to research his sister's medical condition while actually withholding from her, as her doctor, that she even had a medical condition. That is how much Jin sucks. He broke the Hippocratic Oath just because he had a personal stake in Xian's life, even though not telling Xian all these things about her and their family actually put her in worse danger and accelerated the actual symptoms and cause of her disease that were in fact tied to the supernatural nonsense that was happening in Xenosaga. And in fact, he gave up on trying to cure her, so her ex-boyfriend, who had joined the villain faction, actually had his motivation for joining the villain faction trying to cure her. And yet, he's the asshole villain that is the second biggest antagonist in the storyline to the actual final villain, which don't make sense, and because the actual final villain's whole thing was to sever the universe's connection to a higher order dimension space, when that higher order dimension space was actually consuming the universe because of a bunch of other idiots that were trying to become gods. So it's like, you don't seem like the bad guy in this, was the final whole argument of my issues with Xenosaga. And if I didn't have to give up doing the reviewer thing, I would go over that in much deeper detail. But yeah, there's kind of a reason they had to, like, hard reboot with Xenoblade, their narrative, until it was revealed that Xenoblade actually occurs in the same continuity as Xenosaga, which is something that only got revealed in the last DLC set for Xenoblade 3. So that's why I missed it and did not bring that up in the Xenogears reviews. It didn't exist publicly as something to be known until after I had already written and it was in the process of publishing those.
But honestly, if I speak on that
Yeah.
as somebody who played Future Redeemed, the final DLC for the Xenoblade games, I legitimately thought that the reveal that everything was connected to Xenosaga all along was, like, super cool.
Yeah, it's like, I don't have an issue with that part of it.
Because for as bad stories as Xenosaga may have overall been, that's not to say everything was without merit, you know? Like...
Or it's like, it didn't have to narratively collapse on itself. And that was definitely a writer thing, not with them not being able to deliver the intent correctly versus a message thing. Kane Sword Kaijin, speaking of Gundam shit, what do you think? Geass on Devil Gundam. Devil Gundam is awesome. It is a fantastic antagonist. Not villain because, while it drives the story, it's not... The Devil Gundam does not exist on its own.
The real villain of all...
And yeah, I wish Walmart hadn't had that whole mess with the Death Scythe Hell getting religious nut jobs in Bandai's face, so they could have actually kept God and Devil as the names of the units in import. But, Christians have to attack anything that isn't their thing.
Honestly, I think the real villain of G Gundam was just, humans, the uglier side of human emotions, like jealousy, greed, pride, that,
definitely a lot of pride.
Those sort of things.
And capitalism. Don't forget capitalism.
Oh, don't forget, yeah. Like, if that something that I never caught on the first time I saw G Gundam back in the day was, hey, wow, there's an awful lot of, that's an awful lot of, point blank saying, yeah, we kind of just said, screw you people on the planet and get...
Yeah, it's just like, it's the it still follows a bit from the problem of Universal Century Gundam, and it's actually kind of terrible at pointing out why things are terrible. Like, they keep skirting the issue and just blaming humans in general instead of, no, wait, it's rich elitist assholes that control everything that make everything terrible. It's not people in general, it's not societies, it is specifically the elitist class, and maybe stop attacking those who aren't responsible for that, who are trying to fix the problem.
The way I view it is, like, after a certain point in the future century, people became apathetic. Not saying everybody on the colonies were, amoral monsters. It's just, it's just like the Earth's down there and we're up here. So it's like,
well, they're down there and we're up here and they're over there. And they're over there has to take care of itself. And where's the caveman?
But what I'm getting at is that, it's not like any one person was, being bad. It's...
Except that asshole who unleashed the Devil Gundam in the first place.
Except for that guy. Yeah, that particular guy, he's the a-hole.
Fuck that asshole.
Mm-hmm.
And all the people in power who are trying to manipulate the Devil/Dark Gundam as well.
Yeah, because, Domo's father had the right idea. Like, hey, we totally messed up the planet. We should probably go fix that, you know?
Yeah, and then you screw up the unit that's designed to do that, and it spirals from there.
Mm-hmm.
DJ Toga, forgive me if this should be obvious, but do you have a Wing Zero Endless Waltz in Lelouch colors like in that one game? I have not yet repainted one of my Wing Zeros into the Wing Zero Rebellion color scheme. I'm okay with that question, despite it coming up in the Super Robot Wars reviews, for the simple reason of that video has not released yet.
You got future knowledge.
Yes, you have some future knowledge. This is something I am going to be bringing up.
He's actually a time traveler, and we need to stop him. Or, wait, who answered that?
No, even better. If you're a time traveler, we would appreciate lotto numbers.
Oh wait, was that Tower of Death? I'm sorry. She.
Yeah.
Who said? Who asked that question? I was.
No, DJ Togo asked that. Terror of Death asked the question of, wait, isn't Tetsuya Takahashi the founder of Molotov who had the power besides himself to fire his wife? He was one of the founders. He was not in, and he was one of the main creatives, but he was not in business control of the company.
There's a difference.
Yeah.
Business creative control of. I almost wonder what Xenosaga would have been like had his wife stayed on board.
Yeah, the corporate side of it is who terminated Saga, and the idea that she was somehow going to end up limiting his creativity, and they didn't want to ruin their golden goose, even though that is exactly what ended up happening. So it's like, good intentions do not always result in positive outcomes.
You kind of see that a lot in the Xenoblade games, actually. Like, a lot of circumstances like that certain characters wanted to avoid wind up happening because...
Yeah, and I found all this out from a way back a article that from a website that documented the entire thing that unfortunately got hit by the site going down and got shoved on the Wayback Machine of the Internet Archive. I have the page saved so somebody can look up the entire thing. The History of Xenogears and Xenosaga is what the article is called. And yeah, it should still be able to be found in the Internet Archive. Worst thing about it is just how American fans who were oblivious to all this going on ended up treating Soraya Saga for her leaving when, no, she didn't leave, she was let go. Because then they blame Saga leaving for why Xenosaga 2 and 3 were not well received. Hell, it got so bad that people stopped buying Xenosaga 3, not because they didn't want to find out how the story ended, but because of a demo disc that got released that was so poorly coded that it had the entire story's script in it as metadata, and the entire thing got leaked from that.
Oh, Terror of Death. Why didn't X and Turn A never get dubbed on and aired on Toonami? The collapse of Bandai Entertainment America.
Yeah, they were planning to import Turn A around the time they had soft announced it as coming, but only a few months before the entire company collapsed in 2012-2013, which is the biggest lost opportunity. Granted, we only got the following Right Stuff Nozomi Entertainment sets because 2014-2015 was not a good year for Sunrise. Especially after how badly Age just was in general, not making them the money they wanted it to. And of course, giving funding to Tomino, only doubling that down. Dear Crystal, what games are you guys going to get that were announced at the Nintendo Direct on Tuesday? I want to get that Mario Luigi Brotherhood RPG. Brothership. I don't want to say Brothership because that is a different.
It's the Brothership. The Brothership, man. You don't want to get on the bro ship?
I mean, I don't usually ship characters as yaoi by default. I like a few homosexual romances, but they're not the ones I usually gravitate to on normally.
I'm just reminded of that bit from Supernatural where it's like
if you narratively justified, I got no issues. But it's not where my head goes by default.
Where does your head go by default?
Places.
Do those places have stuff?
Sometimes. They have nouns, I'll put it that way.
Mine has verbs.
It's what you do.
I mean, it's what's happening. Oh, and also, thank goodness Metroid Prime 4...
Oh, yeah, we're getting Metroid Prime 4 for sure.
Yeah. It's like, after 3,000 years. No, but seriously, I'm glad Nintendo's the kind of company where they're not going to announce anything until it's good and well ready, you know? Or
at least now, after, they announced Metroid Prime 4 years ago, and they realized, no, we announced this too early.
Yeah.
Because you can only make people wait for so long.
But at least they're doing it.
Cough, cough, Mother 3.
When's Mother 3?
Media reviews. That place is from the future. Things are really shiny there. Fear of Death. At least Sunrise is doing better now. Aside from them screwing with G, which, yeah, kind of. It's like, Gundam Seed Freedom, you gotta remember with that one, that script for that movie, if you watch the credits, it was written by Chiaki Murasawa. Chiaki Murasawa's been dead since 2016. The reality of the script for Freedom is it's been finished since 2006, and has been sitting in a file cabinet it sat in a file cabinet for over a decade at Sunrise. They could have had that successful of a movie over 15 years ago. And they didn't want to do it because Tomino killed it.
If it bleeds, we can kill it.
Media reviews. I'll ask that Metroid Primes 2 and 3 are remastered as well. They were. There was a Metroid Prime trilogy remastered set a couple years ago. I have it. I thought it was a remaster of all the games. 1 second.
Or is it He's knocking amiibos everywhere! He's a maniac! He's gone crazy! We need to put him down!
Okay, yeah, this actually might only be the first one remastered. I thought it was all three. That's why I sold my Metroid Prime Trilogy collection. Well, that's an oops. But yeah, if that's the case, they definitely need to do a remaster of 2 and 3.
Oh, you and your friggin' tandomness. Stop doing that. Go step by step like everybody else.
Day by day by day? No way.
Oh, shut up. I can end you.
Care of Death, also question, when are we getting the other two Hathaway Flash movies?
Um,
I don't know. I don't care.
when Santa Claus stops fighting the Martians. I always keep thinking about this, but I keep wanting to know what a true proper Gurren upgrade would be like.
Like, Beyond the Satan?
Yeah.
Like, I tried with the Testament, but yeah.
I would, like, because the thing that I keep thinking about, like, idea I keep going back to is
double claws, for one.
Well, and also a tail.
Yeah, I can see that, because, well, yeah, basically, the, Issei Hyodo's, boosted gear balance breakers are basically all just the Gurren, so I guess that's your next best guess at that.
Like a tail that could act as both like more batteries for her, and like I wouldn't say funnels, but like give her more, charge it, like it can help power up the radiant wave surge, or like
give her a Maser Vibration tail blade.
Yeah. Something to help accentuate her combat prowess. Miles Tails prower.
Or hell, give her a proper sword beyond the fork knife.
Yeah. I mean, she makes great use of it, don't get me wrong, but I mean,
give it an extendo mag.
Every girl needs a sword. It's true.
Here, find this one. Give her this one they found in the lake. So it suddenly became giant robot sized.
Huh. That's new. All hail Callan Kozuki, the new Queen of England. Wait, what?
I swear, if I ever actually manage to write the fanfic in my head, I am doing that. Joy Nikao. So basically the Lupus Rex. I mean, I did use Barbados parts when I built my Gurren Testament model kit a couple years ago. It fits. And it's not like she needed the neural interface that paralyzed Mikazuki in Iron Blooded Orphans, so that would work out. DJ Toku, does Excalibur talk to her? Only when it's in the mood. Media reviews. I just thought of something. Why hasn't Tails been given a Gundam-style mech? And no, the battle mode for his planes don't count. I mean an actual giant humanoid mech suit. Because their toy rights were owned by Takara for a time, and thus he would be more likely to be echoing Macross.
Another idea I keep having in my head is Xenoblade Code Geass, but it's Xenoblade 3.
And the entire Code Geass world is a simulation?
Or, like, Callan and Lelouch are on opposite sides, and they have to Ouroboros.
Ah. Or at least civilian Lelouch in those circumstances leading into that. Fair of Death. Speaking of IBO, I hated it. The ending to it. Mika should have won his final battle. He was already basically dead, so I'm fine. I'm more fine with it than other people are, but I get that opinion.
I haven't seen it for myself, but I do like the idea of like a Gundam character doing a Halo Reach Last Stand type of thing.
Yeah. So yeah, again, I'm more okay with it than others are. We have not watched Iron Blooded Orphan Season 2 ourselves, but we have seen the clips on YouTube.
And Twitter and other places.
And Twitter and other places.
I'm already T-posing before he...
Can you call it T-posing when it just has one arm?
Yes!
Isn't that technically an inverse L pose? An F without the other arm?
Oh, stop being semantic. As long as we all agree that if we ever get isekai, I get to pilot the robot.
I'm a fan of the classic "What if Lelouch trained for his inevitable rebellion?" Thick idea. Damn it, heart emblem on this engine side. Dude had a ninja on the payroll. Come on, Ninja Zero. Yeah, again, it's the examples of so many missed opportunities where I swear that Sayoko being a ninja is a retcon, but because they included it regardless, it's something that he could have done, and yet didn't, and so it gives the sense that Lelouch was not all in on that scheme because of Nunnally originally, and it just fell into his lap despite so much he could have done beforehand.
Bro, you could have lifted.
It's like, the Code Geass is so very much defined by its missed opportunities. HA5, sorry, but you have to be isekai into a medieval fantasy world, no mecha. Not even ones made from dragon corpses? Or giant blood corpses?
Aww.
Well, okay, if it's a medieval fantasy world, we can invent the steam train and profit off of that. Mm-hmm. Come on, we bought too many games, now we have to play them all. Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Terror of Death. Sorry, Alexis, I already took that option, but you can be the giant sword lady. Oh, no, no, no. Alexis is the monk.
The monk with a robot. Do not deny me my dream of piloting a mecha.
The worst thing about arcades failing in America, we will never get those giant mecha pilot simulation pods.
I know.
Like, Japan gets all the cool stuff.
Honestly, though, I can't believe Code Geass ended with everything being happy and, like, Yodi died and, like, they all lived happily ever after.
And we are not just in massive, massive amounts of denial.
Injects herself with refrain.
No, refrain doesn't create memories. it plays them back. We own the Blu-rays. Like, you can do that on our own.
Mm-hmm. Oh, then what did I just inject myself with?
Antacids.
Aww. There it is.
DJ Toku, level with me, folks. If the Gundam Build full dive VR thing was real, how much time would you guys sink into that? Well, I would need to shower. I'm someone who actually values hygiene.
Oh, I would be a menace in that game.
But yeah, like, when it comes to MMOs, I have an addictive personality, so I'd have to voluntarily stay away from it. The temptation would be real, though. Like, it would only be a danger if I ever became independently wealthy enough to not need to work. Because then it doesn't matter if I don't make money as a streamer. I would just be doing it financially independently. Terror of Death. We almost had a giant mecha simulation pod, but unfortunately the companies making them went under when Harmony Gold started suing everyone. Harmony Gold does not own the idea of a giant robots simulator or giant robots in general. They did not deserve that. Fuck them. Harmony Gold are awful. Yeah, now you can claim you got to T-posing to assert your dominance before
Yes, I did! Ha-ha! Behold! The tortoise and the hare. But I am also... I don't want to be a sexy turtle. That'd be weird.
Yeah, know that the Gawains are never going to leave this pose. Or it is very unlikely they will ever leave this pose.
Mm-hmm.
Davis Hayden, got to admit the head gives me mild jackal vibes. Yeah, they're Nubian heads, we don't know why.
It's a jackal. Jackal. Jackal, I tell you, it's a jackal. Jackal.
If it wasn't a jackal the first time, it wasn't a jackal the other 50 times.
Careful of the wheels.
Dear Crystal, are they gonna make just pacing is bad because the writer for Age only worked on level 5 games and think anime is pacing video game cutscenes together? What do you think? The problem with Age is it keeps trying to fit 26 episodes worth of plot into a quarter-long arc. Like, I know the arcs in Age are more like 16 episodes, but it's too condensed. Not out that they were just trying to speedrun the core Universal Century series, which is its real failing. It's like, it wasn't trying to do more modern Gundam like Seed was. It was being worshipful of Universal Century, which was in and of itself the problem. It's like, you want to homage something? Sure, go straight ahead, but you weren't they were not handling that in the form of an homage.
And yet, even the Gundam Age 1 and all that stuff got master grades before G-Reco.
Yep. Well, that was Bandai's fault in that they thought Age was going to be big because it was homaging UC Gundam, and then it didn't sell, so they didn't commit for anything for G-Reco. Then, bad relationship with Tomino in general. That's appropriate. Golden Girl, Raid Rise, Fighting Jackal! Deciding the fate of the battle like a Valkyrie.
Talon's my favorite Kamen Rider.
Actually, that's a good question for the chat. Who among the existing Kamen Rider stable would best be, would the Code Geass cast actually best fit in as? Because obviously there are a few Kamen Rider Code Geass fics out there already, but, there's fitting a motif of a series onto another series, and then there's what would best fit the characters that would become involved.
Code Geass in the Desire Grand Prix. Do shopping. Wheels and the leg man.
Yes, but whom is whom?
Your wheels, I can, are... wait, which one was the leg man?
Pure Crystal, oh god, imagine the three of you streaming Mario Party. We have done that. We are considering doing that again.
No, we are gonna do it again. And you will lose. It's just inevitable, okay?
Media reviews, HJ5s, I swear that 4 of the 5 waiver writers have some type of mech suit or giant robot. Breaking Mammoth, King Excalibur, that one purple bat mech from Gotchard. Yeah, it's a thing that goes back to Den O.
It never quite works, in my opinion.
It works in some better than others. Like, it makes sense to have it sometimes, but not in other series. Like, I like the Power-Dizers in, Kamen Rider 4's, but that only in the sense that it gives some of the other characters something to do. In that it's a support unit for 4's that 4's himself does not pilot. And it's like, and it's easy, something that's easy to forget when it's not utilizable in combat situations, but they at least use it more than to advertise that it exists, which is the problem with a lot of those mecha editions because of the CGI budgeting. Like, just leave the mechs to Super Sentai.
You got mechs in my Super Sentai. You got Super Sentai in my Kamen Rider. Lelouch going on an epic training montage, you know, doing push-ups, doing like curls, doing all that stuff, and his like the big marker of his success. He can now run 1 lap.
Who is more physically fit, Lelouch or Chris Yukine?
I would think by default Chris would. But it is funny to think about, like, them trying to, like, run a marathon and that, like, run a few laps and they're like, I can't. Go on.
We've been at this for a whole 5 minutes.
And then the Hibiki just runs by them. On your left!
And then Chris gets mad and acts, wait till I catch up to you. Stop running, damn it.
Stop. Everybody else on the stands looks at Callan. Have you seen that guy?
Actually, no, Lelouch would be driven into running by Millie just bringing out his fan club and advertising the first person to catch Lelouch gets a date with him.
Millie works every time. The good old Millie magic. You mean inflicting psychological torment?
Fear of Death, you know, with Kamen Rider 03 now being a thing, thanks Outsiders for that, I wonder what would happen if Aruto enters the mix between there and Arc. I mean, kind of, the point of 03 is itself the point of, now you have a character where you don't need the main lead of the series. That's the entire thing what Outsiders is doing. Like, just putting a bunch of the side characters up on the ballot and pushing them against each other. Maybe some of them with incomplete stories, maybe ones where they could just find a way to do more with them. I kind of still find it funny that Tetsuya Iwanaga is just, like, the most popular Kamen Rider now by the time... Just for the virtue of the number of times he's come back.
Y'all can't quit me. I'm too good looking.
I mean, he is.
He is like, wow, dude, okay.
DJ Toku, make Callan put Lelouch through a training montage. Even better, make Callan be the backup to Sayoko, and Sayoko putting Lelouch through a training montage.
Yes. Like, Callan, why? I thought you were on my side. I am on your side. That's why I want you to get better.
I am on your side. I'm standing right here.
Uh...
Like, that's the appropriate use of dents to me. Like, use it for that kind of punchline. I am on your side. That's why I don't want you to die.
I did it. I went through all your rigorous training. Now can we stop the madness?
Girl, I'm surprised that Millie didn't make that a weekly thing just to get Lelouch in shape. Oh, no. Millie wouldn't do it for the sole purpose of, then if Lelouch got in shape, then he wouldn't be able to run away. Or then he would be able to successfully run away whenever she'd be up to something.
Oh, she wants to train
Yeah, she played into Lelouch's physical sloth just so he would never be able to escape.
Oh, well, that's good on Millie. Oh, nice thinking there, girl.
Media reviews. On the subject of Gotchard and issues, I personally think that Junsei Motojima is the worst actor in the cast of that show. I have no idea who that is because we're not watching Gotchard.
Yeah, our heart's just not in the cards.
It is not. It's like, we're not even buying Yu-Gi-Oh cards right now. But that's more due to just Konami being terrible and the aftermarket for singles being awful. It's like, neither of us have gotten any of the recent Yubel support simply because the aftermarket ate it. And it's like, with the meta deciding, oh hey, Yubel is really good. It's like, she always was.
Did I clip out that part?
HJ5, the only recent stuff I wanted from Yu-Gi-Oh! Recently is the recent Yu-Gi retrains, but those are low pull in the packs. Fair. Low pull rate, I assume, by that phrase.
I must have clipped it out, but where did I...
Flip what?
One of the deep runner parts. I don't think I dropped it. I know I clipped it out.
Which one specifically?
This little guy right here.
Ah, the one that goes into that clip.
Yeah.
You already built the other side of it?
No, I was clipping out all the parts, and then I was going to quickly assemble.
Okay, so you got the one right here.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Oh, thank you. Can't see the forest through the trees sometimes, you know?
The legs are long because it's wearing heels.
Oh yeah, because Lelouch got a sleigh. The real reason why Lelouch has trust issues is because every time he would try to hide from Millie, Rivals would rat him out.
That man simps for that woman too hard.
Like, Rivals, why? I'm sorry, dude. Like, but, you know, Millie, like, she's kind of hot and... Traitor!
Plus low-key revenge against Millie being into Lelouch, but... her being rebuffed.
If only that fool realized he had two hands.
I mean, that's true of this show in general with Lelouch's paramours. Terror of Death. Also, by the way, I'm waiting for Decay to show up and bitch slap both Conrad Legend and Zane for stealing his gimmick. I think Masahiro Inoue is busy being a representative for an anime company right now. I think that's what he's doing. But he's actually gotten the Legend Driver and has shown pics on Twitter, not pics, videos of him on Twitter using it. So it's like, you can take the fan out of the franchise, but you can't take the fanboy out of his interests.
I'm fully in all the way. Can you see that?
Yep. Yeah, HG5s, he did a, Masahiro Inoue did a full video of him doing his Decade Henshin with the Legend Driver and breaking off the gate parts of it.
Yeah, that apparently keeps happening with the toy.
Yeah. Bit of a design flaw is what we're saying.
There we go.
Pure Crystal, how come a lot of media have villains who did horrible, unspeakable things go through an unwanted redemption arc? I don't know. It doesn't work for a lot of them. Hell, even sometimes the redemption arc is so last minute and transparent, it's a death equals redemption, and I hate that shit. Granted, that depends on how evil they are. If they're just an asshole, that's not really evil enough to warrant them be hate-worthy on the overuse of the trope. But it's gotten bad with some groups that are just indefensible.
Oh, man, look at those boots are slaying.
These boots are made for walking. That's just what they'll do.
Mm-hmm.
Media reviews. Hunter, Zuko, and Catra made it work because they never went too far before being redeemed. And there was a logical thought process that showed that they weren't hard evil, they just were in conflict with the heroes. It's like, that's how you do it. Like, Zuko was trying to please his father, which was impossible. Catra, I don't remember their thing, but they had conflicting loyalties at the start. And Hunter was just indoctrinated.
Yeah. And if somebody's been indoctrinated, like, and then they redeem themselves,
it's like if they're malicious of their own violation or refuse to accept reality on something, then it's a much harder sell. It's like, the more you voluntarily do something that's bad while knowing it's bad, the less forgivable it is for that. The more they justify their actions, the less it's accepted. Black Century King, wait, didn't someone die because of Catra's actions nearly destroying the world? We didn't actually watch the She-Ra series. So we're getting most of what we know about that entire thing secondhand.
There we go. It's not like we're ever going to actually deploy the wheels.
Yeah. It's going to just sit in the display stand.
And it's
behind
going to...
Callan. In the Gurren.
Because Callan, like, tops and leads.
And that way you get that triple, wave shot effect. Seriously, that is still the biggest missed opportunity for Super Robot Wars X.
To give us a final full proper Callan and Lelouch team up.
Team attack, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they can attack in tandem, but it's not exactly a special animation.
we been going for?
We have been going for an hour and 38 minutes.
Oh, not bad.
Also, I hate the morally self-righteous gets like Suzaku or Koki from Ari Ferretta. Yeah, that's why I brought up the Ari Ferretta thing, because they literally, in the original light novel, just were pantomiming Suzaku. Like, hard pantomiming.
Wait, who?
Ari Ferretta from Commonplace to the World's Strongest has a character that's basically Suzaku, so much that they were including lines from Code Geass directly in the the writing of their original light novels. I have the first 2 seasons of that. That might just be put on our list so you can see what I'm talking about. Main character ends up turning himself into a cyborg.
Sweet. I just remember that King Oger line where Yama was like, men want to turn themselves into cyborgs.
Media reviews. I think Bellows is a great example of a character so obsessed in their delusion that they can't be redeemed or talked out of doing what they do, only for a lot of fans to miss that. Yes, clearly. It's like, he was a racist bastard, and the only reason to say that he wasn't is audience members missing the point.
I feel like a lot of newer people kids being exposed to media are being so taught English and stuff improperly that they can't even recognize,
they're media illiterate and their education is being sabotaged so they don't learn any better.
Yeah.
Because, media literacy is, one of the biggest problems these days. Or just people seeing things that aren't there. The other day, Nash of Radio Dead Air was going off on Jack O'Neill from Stargate in him being an asshole, and it's like,
oh no,
what the bloody hell are you talking about?
Did I put these
on backwards? Yeah. This one's fine.
Are you sure?
Pretty sure. Hang on.
I think I put that one on backwards too.
Upside down, maybe.
Yeah, sorry, it's just...
Oh no, wait, cover plate for the front of the leg. No, this one's on correctly. It's just this one where its placement is flipped. It says J4 Jason, what are your thoughts on the whole See Destiny stealing the late night time slot from Ultraman Nexus thing? I am not aware that was a thing.
Oh, you didn't know about that?
No.
Okay, so basically Ultraman Nexus was shaping up to be like, you know, a true avant-garde Ultra series, but I don't know the specifics, but all I know is suddenly Nexus was shifted away from its time slot because was it TV Tokyo or whoever airs the Gundam series? And
yeah, that's TV Tokyo. It used to be TV Asahi, but TV Asahi is one of the reasons why Gundam X got screwed over.
yeah.
So they've not been on good terms since.
Yeah, so like basically Gundam Seed Destiny took over Nexus's time slot, and Nexus got bumped over to like an earlier slot where they couldn't get away with like dark, grim stuff. We're not talking like edgelord stuff. We're talking like
Their normal tonal darkness that the Ultra series can have.
right. We're talking like the difference between chilling sci-fi and kitty, like more for kids sci-fi.
Yeah, time slot stuff is bullshit. There's a reason why streaming is generally better now. But considering, like, Gundam Destiny could go hard on a bunch of things, so I get it. But it really should. I really criticize TV Tokyo for doing that, as like I can see the complaints there, but that's TV Tokyo deciding it, and TV Tokyo should not be screwing with time slots like that. Same thing what happened with Code Geass. It was originally supposed to be one contiguous run. Then it got split to two, and the 26th episode of the series never got made. The first episode of R2 is a completely different plot line than was originally the 26th episode, as I got into. And that led to not all of the problems, but it is where they started piling up.
Again, I know there's other more documented sources out there, but it's one of those like
Again, as I've said before, I'm not the biggest of Ultra guys, so I don't know a lot of this, especially with the mid-2000s series.
So it kind of creates like a back and forth between like, you know, one side hating one set of fans and the other side hating the other side, and
When really the problem is network executives. Network executives are the enemy.
and fans of Ultraman Nexus have been clamoring for like any chance for it to like return in some form.
Technically, it has.
I mean, technically, but thank you.
Yeah, welcome. It's like, again, I wouldn't blame Gundam Seed for that. Because Gundam Seed was already being screwed over because Chiaki Murasawa got sick, and then Sunrise assigned the completely wrong writers to handle things in her absence.
Oh, my legs are long. Yes, my legs are long.
Fox King, there's a lot of weird things happening in the early 2000s, like Ultraman Cosmos being taken off the air due to the main lead having some legal troubles that he was thankfully able to get through. That one I did hear of. He was accused of a crime, but he was later fully acquitted. I forget what the specific crime was. I forget if it was like a high crime or not, but yeah, that was a weird time. It's like everything kept being against the Ultra Series.
And it was not like anybody was out to get the Ultra Series. It just kind of kept happening.
Over and over and over again.
Nice, relaxing afternoon building, am I right?
Mm-hmm. I hate how these booklets are sometimes. Like, why can't you just make something that... I get not wanting to do staples, but can you at least do it in an order that makes sense?
Yeah. Also, I dropped a polycap.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like a little... So I saw it like hit the ottoman. Oh, found it.
Okay.
Yeah, I knew it was near.
Media reviews. I have a serious question regarding Geass now that I'm catching up with it concerning Baraba.
Oh,
Does
we
anyone
haven't...
actually... We are actually going to be going through Geass next week, but since this is a minor thing, I don't mind mentioning it. Does anyone actually like jelly beans and aren't just paid to eat them? I do. Not every flavor, but they're okay. I kind of prefer, like, Jelly Belly, gummy bear kind of things, though, over just, jelly beans. I cannot stand candy corn. My mercy only stretches so far.
Candy corn can't tolerate you.
I swear, they've already made all the candy corn they'll ever need. They just, no one buys it. So they put it in stock back in the warehouses for another year. I know that's not actually a thing, but it would be hilarious if it was.
And then all of a sudden a sniper bullet tries to hit you. He knows too much.
Oh, like, Big Candy is gonna bother going after me. Nice. Golden Garrow's been saving some cash and is going to be building their own computer soon. Congrats. That's building their own computer. Your own computer is like a big rite of passage stuff, and that way Final Fantasy XIV will even run even better for you.
Mm-hmm. It'll do a whole marathon.
No, running marathon on a computer is easy these days.
Actually, I was just thinking back to the Lelouch and Chris trying to run a track, and then Chris is like, "Ha! You're being chased by girls," and it's like, nothing can motivate me. I sicked Hibiki after you. Oh no, the idiot's coming. Just come on, Chris, accept the hugs.
She will never accept the hugs.
These parts are pretty tight.
Hmm?
This D5 part.
Oh, yeah, it's a very tight ankle piece. Oh no, that's the waist joint. Want me to try it?
No, I got it.
Okay.
Sometimes it's not a matter of strength. It's a
Force application.
yeah.
Phantom 666, is that Crisis Core in the background? It was the soundtrack The Price of Freedom from Final Fantasy VII Crisis Core, yes. Now it's playing Brave New World from Project Cross Zone. Braden and Eggs, how do you deal with the void feeling after finishing a long game series, etc.? I sometimes struggle to leave characters left behind. Well, if I got that invested in narrative, I check out fanfiction. Yes, I'm one of those people.
And then the brain rot sets in.
And then the brain rot sets in.
It's good. You should just let it wash over you. Speaking of, you should check out this series called Symphogear.
I think we've advertised that enough. Have we, though?
Have we, though? I don't think we've had it advertised it enough. Info gear. It's better than drugs.
It's not better than drugs.
What
Don't
is-
use it as a replacement for drugs. Do not advertise drugs.
I'm just chaos. Oh, so how's the chat doing today? How are you guys? Hope you're
Phantom
all-
666. Oh, we've not talked about them from them in a while. Shindo, why do Gundam fans act as if being a new type automatically makes the Mobile Suit Pilot better than anyone else, even pilots from other franchises? Because they're assholes. New type psychic powers are basically worthless in the grand scheme of things, because of how poorly they utilize them and make the psychics, who should be able to understand other people because they can read their thoughts, not understand other people. Like, you have their people's truest thoughts exposed to you because of your psychic powers. How can you claim to still not understand them? And still be better than them? Like, it's one thing to not understand other people, but it's like, to not grasp their true intentions from it. It's like, I like Seed Freedom calling that crap out, as the crap that it is, where, psychics are not intrinsically superior, because it requires a actual level of intelligence to grasp that, hey, other people's positions from beyond their own can have validity. Also, stop saying that you're superior and should define other people's, way of life. Again, it's why I like how Raildex deals with Epps' person, that you're not superior, you're just other people.
T-pose. Are we floating down here?
Also, I like the name Air Glide System over Float System. That float system just sounds like you're floating. Air Glide sounds like a propulsion system.
Oh, I thought I missed that part.
Artemis versus Unicron on the Seed stuff. In my eyes, the Ultimate Coordinator is basically a super soldier. The Ultimate Coordinator stuff, to most people, as it should be, is an expectation, not a reality. It's like you have this expectation of Kira being something, and yet he's not. So you're either you're not understanding the point. It's like the person exists, not what they're supposed to be hyper advanced and capable of doing because of that advancement. It's like if you've ever seen enough genetic Superman stories, they usually are kind of screwed up because they're educated poorly. Like all the perfect clone media where the clones don't have any intelligent thoughts because, you know, they haven't been a lot of life experiences. I'm forgetting the specific material, but I think that was a one of the examples is like a Schwarzenegger movie. I'm forgetting what it is. It's a rather ubiquitous trope, so I hopefully don't have to cite specific examples.
But basically, the point is, Kira, at the end of the day, despite having his seed powers, he's just a kid, dude. You want
the Ultimate Coordinator stuff was a red herring. Because most of the things Kira could do in the series, other coordinators could also do. And that was also part of Seed Freedom's point, in him not being right for him to put all the weight on himself.
Is this yours or is it mine?
That I'm out of ball joints.
This might be mine.
Yeah, so that's yours.
It rolled off somewhere.
Mm-hmm. Pure Crystal, hey Des, what are your thoughts on the parody Sue archetype? I'm not familiar with that. Terror Death, The Sixth Day. I could be thinking of Sixth Day. I've not seen that movie in forever.
Like Batman Forever?
No, he was in Batman and Robin. Schwarzenegger was.
Mm-hmm.
Did it take also a chance for Rao's actor to go ham on a rant, and it was a wonderful acting. It was wonderful acting in both versions. All three versions, I should say, actually. Japanese Ocean dub and New York AV dub.
Sending humanity screaming into the dark.
Seriously, if you want a villainous Char clone, you don't go better than Rao.
Because that guy did not care which side won as long as...
He just set up the pieces because all the internal conflicts were just there. He was just reveling at the end in him getting what he wanted. Like, Rao is the thematic villain, but there's a reason you also had Maruta Azrael to represent the Earth Federation being assholes with Blue Cosmos terrorism, and then Athrin's father being the other extreme. Mm-hmm. Well, actually, it's the same type of extremism, but for a different military group. Because in reality, in Gundam Seed, the same groups are... The same political ideals are behind all the villains. It's just what they focus on as supremacy is what diverges and makes them different. So it's not like this group of people coming in to interfere with everything else. It's,
I hate when I keep doing this.
It's the same ideologues that make things terrible for people. And of course, all of those who enable them. Gundam666, what's your thoughts on Gundam artificial super modes or tech like the exam system compared to something like the Zero system or the Cyber New types? I'm not against like AI support modules. It just kind of has to be established in setting and utilized correctly. Like I believe the system is called 9 in Gundam Seed Astray, and it's a support unit used by Low Guile to help him pilot his Astray Red frame. And it's like, I got no problems with that. You just have to establish in the setting that it's a thing. That's why I kind of have more issues with the exam system, because than the others, because Universal Century doesn't really ever establish much of AI programming or that kind of tech development. Meter reviews. Is the Earth 3 build divers high grades any good? I got the Jupitive and I'm considering getting a few of the others. Oh, the Jupitive is amazing. The Earth 3 for a in atmosphere flight mode is actually pretty decent. It depends on what you're looking for in loadouts. I think I'm actually going to leave these cables alone because I just have the finger/Harkins left. Toku, Low Guile, the guy who's always there but we never see. He's there, but he's off in his own manga. Repeatedly. I'm curious, did Sunrise higher-ups want Suzaku to be the hero and Lelouch to be the villain against Okuchi's plans? At this point, I just don't know. I found the interview that Okuchi did last year, and I don't know if that's retroactive or what was their ideas. All I know is that they kept seeing Suzaku as more heroic than Lelouch, when the opposite, by actual factual event and characterization, kept proving things to be wrong. I say Sunrise in that as the buck stops at the executives.
Under gates.
Yeah, there's a lot of them on the float system arms. And there we go.
I'm sorry, everyone.
Yeah. Premise for Student Crimes. The gold plastic on the Gawain the same color as the Kyakushiki Revive.
No, not quite.
No, the Kyakushiki Revive is still gold plated, whereas this is just normal gold plastic. Video reviews. Undergates. The somehow edgier Undertale AU that underfell. Then underfell. SJ4 Jason. Should Gundam Crossbone be adapted as either a series or as films? I'd take either. I feel like Crossbone is probably the last Universal Century thing that out there that deserves to be adapted.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, there's still some on this.
Yeah, let me help with that. Yeah, some might think that, like, the change over from Gawain to Shinkiro was to sell merchandise, but then you actually look at Code Geass's merchandise, and it's like, in their entire run, they only sold, like, 6 model kits, 3 of which were the Lancelot. Like, there's a lot of Code Geass units that never got out. Oh, and of those 6, another 2 were Vincent's from R2. Callan took the 6th slot in that with the Gurren.
Which is like, why wasn't the Gawain like the first thing you did?
Well, second after the Lancelot, because Lancelot is the purported sale thing, and they did not sell. It's like, it's the entire reason they're doing the Gawain now. The Gawain never got anything further. They did a few Code Geass related action figures, but not actual model kits that were cheap to make and populous to sell. Not so, yeah, Sutherland's weren't made, Barai's weren't made, Lelouch's other pilot units were not made. Cornelia has yet to get a single robot that she piloted have a model kit. It's weird.
Yeah, we were talking about this last night and how weird that is, because for, like, how much of a presence Cornelia had in the early parts of the show, like, you'd think...
Even as an antagonist unit, you'd think she'd have it. And it's not like there were difficulties in constructing those. Hell, what makes it worse is they actually did make more Code Geass model kits for Akito the Exiled, and yet the majority of those were just all variants of the Alexanders. And it's like, I don't hate the Alexander, but you didn't need to make 4 separate model kits of that when you just could have done one and had them include mod parts, so you could just buy 4 of the same thing. Kind of like how they should have handled the Magnac corks from Gundam Wing, for example. Or the Leos, but they actually did release different mod kits for the Leos, so I can't be as harsh on that.
Oh wait, there's something wrong here.
Hmm?
The Gurn's not topping it.
I mean, we haven't pulled the Gurns out yet. Digitoku, to be fair, before Resurrection, Cornelia only had her custom Gloucester. Yeah, she did. It's like one unit. They only need to make one unit. And then, you know, her knights having the other color variants of the Gloucesters.
There we go.
Even then, Gloucesters were just, like, souped-up Sutherlands.
And, you use one of these guys, right?
Yeah. No, wait, not those. That.
Yeah, I was...
This one.
This one?
Yep, that one. Goes into the peg hole that's actually covered by the sliding cover panel. That is tight on there. There it goes.
Ah!
Davis Hayden still waiting for a high-grade tall geese. They made, like, 2 or 3 real-grade tall geese. That's why that's not a priority. Also, the Kai versions of Sandrock and Heavy Arms, those were P Bandai exclusive. I haven't gotten the Sandrock yet, but I do have the Heavy Arms Kai. Yeah, this guy. And then I'm still waiting for them to finish the other kits from Wing itself before they do like the high grades of the more high grades of the Endless Worlds variations. Because those do exist, they're just really, really old. Mm-hmm. Like, I want them to do the Tauros first. I would love a version, White Tauros Noin custom from that series, considering Noin was another one of those characters that should probably have been a Gundam pilot.
Gotta get the blasters out.
Yep, Hadron cannons. Terror Death, Sodos, what do you think? Oh, no, sorry, one I meant to say was Digitoku. They give the Lancelot Club a new name after the game on Nets unit to better fit with the other rounds. What would you give it? I don't have a good name for that one. Terror Death, so what do you think of what I like to call the Mighty Morphin Murderers mecha included in Seed Freedom? Oh yeah, from the Foundations, like
the Black Knights.
Yeah, which is hilarious if you watch the movie in Japanese, because the character Albert that's the tactical commander on the Millennium, voiced by Jun Fukuyama. So yeah, that had to be deliberate. I think they're okay. It's like I'm getting the white one from the that was the main antagonist unit later this year. I've got the red one built over there. I'm not sure if I want to get the trio set that's on P Bandai, just because, you know,
it's just the same.
At a certain point, they're just the same unit.
Yeah, but I mean, I think they're really good. I mean, the capes are cool.
Yeah. So yeah, Gawains are built. Yeah, same thing with this glossy plastic. It feels more brittle than it should be for a lot of these, but otherwise, pretty solid kits. But that said, I don't know when we'll do our next build stream. Like, maybe Gengai-O, maybe we'll just skip that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it might end up being Victory Mars in October. No, wait, not October, November for my birthday, because that's what we agreed.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we're going to call it here for the stream. We will be back later tonight with John playing more Ratchet & Clank Going Commando.
All right.
We'll see you guys then if you want to stick around for that, or come back later.
All right, see you soon.
Bye, guys.